All right. I think the stream should be up now. Let's check if you guys can hear me. Yeah. First of all, hello everyone. Um, I hope you can all hear me well. I hope everyone is well. I'm sorry for the weird time that I've chosen to stream. The stream will be achieved. It's always like that. Um, yeah, and today I want to actually talk a little bit about, I don't know, camera techniques, VG techniques that are used in the industry, and that might be helpful to know about and make you maybe feel, look like, maybe make you look different at how animation actually is delivered and how smart some of these techniques can be utilized in some of the shots. So, for the first thing that we want to talk about is there are different VG or camera techniques that are like quite simple and easy to understand. So, for example, let's make a new camera. Oops, I didn't want to make it in, put it into that layer. So first of all, we got our camera right here, right? So we made a camera layer. You can see the camera. And if I move it around, it's going to set up a keyframe. So the normal camera pan is pretty much that you move the camera either into one direction up, down, left, or right. So if the camera moves from left to right, from right to left, it's gonna probably look like this, right? That would be like the normal camera pan. And yeah, it can go to any side, up, down, left, right, as long as the camera stays the same size and you don't change the resolution or like the size or something like that, and don't do that, right? Then it's not really a camera pan anymore. Then it's gonna become a zoom in and zoom out, and it's like the second technique. So I'm gonna write it down for you later. Don't worry. I'm gonna show you what's basically happening. The zoom in and zoom out is called track back, TB and TU. I can't remember what TU stands for. Track back is the zoom out, I believe, and TU is the zoom in. So pretty much the size of your camera is like either shrinking or it's like getting bigger, pretty much. So let's say, for example, imagine you have a face like in the middle of your canvas, right? And you want the camera to zoom out from the face. I'm just gonna draw a face real quick so it's a bit more clarified. I know this is super wacky, right? Well, who cares? So this is my face, right? And then I actually want to show more of the character later on when the camera zooms out, and I don't know, maybe some cloth or like some hairs like moving and shit. You have a loop going on, then it's like track back or something like that is pretty helpful. So the camera moves from one position to the next one and kind of zooms out. That's pretty much the trackback. It's like the next camera trick. Um, in if you're like a Flash user, you can probably use Wecam and actually have the same kind of techniques utilized. Uh, if you use Clip Studio Paint, you can just simply create a camera layer. I'm not sure about TV Paint and Toon Boom Harmony, how the camera exactly works there, but I believe it might be pretty similar. Um, yeah, so that's about it. So basically, those are like the most foundational camera techniques that you have to know about. Let's summarize. I'm gonna make, wait a second. I'm gonna make a new illustration. I'm gonna write down like simple drawings. So this is like our camera, right? This is our camera size. It's not perfect, but it will do the job. And we press copy paste. So camera is moving from position, say A to position B, right? Over here. This is what we call the pen, right? That's number one, the camera pen. It can also go up and down, left and right, right? So that's pretty much it. It's very easy, very simple. Number two, camera. That's like the track back, the zoom in and zoom out. We're gonna create this border right here. Don't worry, it's gonna get super complicated later on. So just stick with me for a while. It's very simple, basic stuff right now, but it might be very helpful to know about. And whenever you watch anime now or something, you'll be like, oh, that's a camera pen. I've seen that before. And yeah, that kind of helps you to understand the thought process a little bit better behind every scene in each individual scene. And yeah, for example, this is the trackback, the TB. And now we also got the other way around, right? When it's going inwards. So this is position B and this is position A. Uh, EU, that's what you call it. So, from here onwards, it's becoming a little bit more complicated. And I might even need to look up some of the terms because it's becoming a little bit more stressful. So yeah, number three, what you can also do with the camera is you can rotate it. So let's say I have my camera right here. I am I'm gonna copy paste this one because I want to stick with the resolutions from that one. So let's say the camera's like, I don't know, moving that kind of direction. Hasn't that slight curve to it. For here, I'm gonna mark out the pathing in red, right? Um, Hold on a second. Let me look that one up. I got a cool PDF file. Um, looking into. I'm just explaining the PDF file pretty much, and I'm just trying to make it a little bit more simpler because it can be overwhelming when you look at it itself, so I rather just show you guys how it's done. Simple enough. So this is like the rotation. Um, yeah, pretty much the rotation of the camera, and it's mostly used with zooming in and zooming out, pretty much. So in most cases, it either gets bigger or smaller as well, and that's what they call the quick TU or T dragback. For now, we're just gonna call this rotation since there's no resizing of the overall frame itself. Okay, so just keep the rotation in mind. That's also something that you can do. Going from position A to position B. So gonna have the I'm gonna also show off the quick TU and quick TB. This is a big one. Oops. Might wanna scale that one and form a little bit. Okay. So on that one, also for the questions later, I'm gonna answer them. Okay, so please bear with me. It's hard to keep track of the chat and um, like this lesson at the same time, right? So we don't wanna. We just wanna talk about it later. You will have time to ask your questions later. Please be a little bit patient. That would be very appreciated. So on this one, you can see that this part over here became smaller. So this is like basically, let's say, if this is position B, this is position A, it's going to be a QTB. So it's basically the quick, the Q stands for quick. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a little bit of scaling to the rotation to it. And, the rotation, I don't know why they call it like that, but I guess that's how it is. Uh, there's probably some Japanese kanjis and all that stuff to it that you could know about, but if you like make it clear enough, it will be fine. Then they will understand. It's like as long as you make it everything very clear, there will not be any communication issues or problems, right? Also wanna add the arrow, by the way, so you show off in which direction the camera is moving. Okay, I think for the most basics, this could be already kind of enough. So these are like the camera techniques. Oh yeah, there's still the gradation pan and the Tsuka pen. But those are like a little bit harder to understand, I believe. Um, but I'm gonna get into those in a bit. Let me just check on how everyone's doing. First of all, hello, I'm fine. Second of all, no, I'm not accepting any commissions. Yeah, I'm gonna go through some camera stuff in a bit. I have Sakugaburu right open. I already got some cool references we can look into, and where like more complicated camera pans are used. Okay, So okay. Um. So the gradation pan and the Zucker pan are a little bit more complicated, but I'm gonna try to explain them too, just so you understand. First of all, these camera techniques that you use right here, you can also use on the BG. That means instead of on the camera where everything starts to move because the camera is moving over all these cells pretty much, and all these cells are summarized. The BG is the only thing that will be moving, but you can still utilize these techniques onto the BG, right? And that's like also where it becomes actually quite complicated. And the reason for that is there's this one person, I think someone was his name, and he made like a very nice GIF or animation to it where he like kind of um where he kind of shows off the problem that can happen if your camera is panning too fast, right? And I recommend to also check out the tweet in case you didn't see it yet. It's this one. As you can see in number A, right? Just the BG itself is moving, so the character stays crisp at the same position, and the timing is also like still considered. But if you have like number B, then you will see how it's all flickering and it's all moving so weirdly, right? And it's pretty much what I would say can be the issue if you don't use the right camera or BG technique in that certain situation, pretty much. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much why you should be aware of these camera and BG techniques so you can utilize them properly without messing up and having some flickering clusterfuck around there. Um, so yeah, okay, Zuckerpan is actually quite simple to understand. Imagine you have like a moving object, right? You know, let's say my stick, and my stick can fly, right? My stick is Superman. He has a cape too, but my stick, flies from this position to this position right here. And I want the camera to always follow my stick figure, right? I think if I understood correctly, in this case, this would be like this Zuckerpan then. Um, it doesn't really like the actual canvas, like camera size doesn't really change in this occasion, right? But you would also start to write down the individual cells of where the camera kind of has to be. So let's say this is, I don't know, frame 4, this is frame 8, 12, oh no, maybe, yeah, it's slowing down, or like it's becoming fast and a little bit, and then it's, I don't know, slowing down. It's 24 and it's, 30 or 32, and the last one is like, I don't know, 40, right? And yeah, um, so pretty much the Zuckerpan always tries to keep the character, tries to, follow the character, but it's not like forced to keep the character in the same position. So, um, regardless, as long there's no rotation or resizing within the actual frame, it's gonna call the Tsukupan. I think this is, if I understood it correctly. Hopefully, I'm not talking nonsense right now. But when I used it, I think that people understood it. At least on Takt, it didn't get messed up. Okay, and then we have the gradation pen. The gradation pen is different. First of all, because you can resize it, you can rotate it, but in terms of positioning and how you number out all the frames into each individual position, it's still the same. But as I said, like the big difference here is that you can even rotate and resize that thing, which is very interesting. I think gradation pan is also mostly used for BG pans. Uh, at least I couldn't think of a scenario right. Wait, I could think of scenarios actually. But yeah, I'm gonna draw it out real quick, and I'm gonna show you an example. It can be either used for BG pans or camera pans, but for camera pans, I wouldn't suggest it too much because gradation pans are mostly moving a lot, and that could like most likely create that flickering effect. So yeah, I'm gonna show it in practice in a bit. So to avoid any confusion, let's say I don't know, it's changing in size. Another thing that's also very interesting about the gradation pan is like that you would mark down the middle, always mark down the middle of that actual canvas. You wouldn't go with the outer edge like on the Zucker pan. Um, otherwise, you will probably mess up the position of the camera or BG or whatever you're moving right now, and that could be like very troublesome to deal with. So you want to have it very accurately. Right? I don't know. Same over here. Let's start with frame 4 and going to 8, 12. I know 20, 28, and then I don't know. It's easing out something. 36, 40. That's like the gradation pan method. Uh, I'm not sure if I'm getting it right, but hopefully I do. Because as I said, like in talked, everything seemed to work out pretty fine, and it seemed to be like that I've been doing my thing right. So hopefully I also understood the camera techniques correctly. Mm, but yeah, those are like the pen methods that you pretty much need to consider. There's still some more stuff left that we can talk about, and those are like specifically mostly for books. A book, to explain a book, is pretty much a part of the background, but the book can also no, the book is basically an illustrated part that can be in the foreground, but as well in the background. So if we look, for example, at let's see. I'm gonna pull up some Yutaka Nakamura real quick. I mean, he's probably a very good example, right? For example, we got Yutaka Nakamura right here, and we're going through each individual scene, and then we're gonna talk about which camera or which PG techniques you used, okay? So we can utilize the knowledge we just gained. Okay, so pretty much over here, you can see that the camera is actually following a little bit the of the face of the character. So it's pretty much just a pan up, or like a pan up, and then going a little bit sideways to the right. Over here, there's actually no camera pan at all in this shot. There's like no camera motion involved. This is all cells pretty much. And I think the only thing that's moving or like make it give that idea of moving might be like this black thing that runs over the background, um, and then this kind of effect that gives the impression of speed, right? And then you just drags out the character a lot. Okay, over here we have actually a trackback, so the camera is actually going away from the character, or like at least start to resize a little bit and becomes bigger. You can see, and you have like a little camera shake. As soon he flashes by, you can see all the camera shaking a little bit. Over here, there's actually no camera motion involved as well, so it's all the cells that are moving. So he's just moving the character on a very high frame rate. It's like there's even some ones in here, and stuff like that. And the rest is just this cool background effect. Uh, okay, over here, we also have this cool background effect, some kind of background effect composition going on. As you can see, everything is moving in twos. So this is as well just the cells that are mostly moving. I think there's a little bit of camera motion involved. Yeah, as you can see, the cell itself stays the same, but it's slightly moving to the right. So that means there is some camera motion probably going on. So I believe it's just a very slight pan or something. And going back to this shot. Okay, over here we got actually a fresh trackback, zoom out again, right? Like he's zooming out from like the center of the screen back to us, right? To emphasize like the shot composition as well and stuff. Right? It's very smart. Okay, and over here it's starting to become very interesting. As you can see, there's like multiple backgrounds, or like it seems to be there's like multiple backgrounds moving. So I assume the layer in the back could either be a background or a book, but I believe the actual background is this mist thing, right? This like kind of grayish thing. And this is like multiple books. So that means there's like multiple backgrounds that are like just split apart so they can be, moved parallel to each other and in a very interesting way that gives like a dynamic feeling to the scene itself and like a lot of depth too, right? So if you look closely, you can see there's like this book. I think I don't know if this one is yeah. Um, this book over here is part of this book. So there's like it's basically just a one book that one book. And there's this book in front. So there's like three books going on. There's like three layers of books that give the impression of, depth to it. Over here we have like quick camera motion to the right. Let's see, do we have okay. Over here we have a BG pan actually. Character actually stays in the same position, but just the background itself is moving. Okay. So you can see like how sometimes it's just the camera that's utilized and sometimes it's just the BG that's moving. And it's like very smart to do so. Over here as well, this is like probably a camera that has been used, right? Like a camera that's moving up with the character. It's not changing too much as well. I think over here in the back you also have like a BG pan again. That's like moving very slowly, etc. So yeah, one more cool shot I want to show definitely over here. When you start to zoom by, right? This is like where it becomes super complicated. The background animation itself is already super detailed, but you can also see these background stuff also passing by and moving a lot, right? These are like also books that are like moving around. So he has like probably multiple books. I think there's like this one, this other city, and the silhouette over there in the back might be another one, and then fast transition into the next shot. Very smart technique used. So another thing that can also be utilized is, as you can see in the beginning, this is like some kind of painted cell, right? But it's just another book that's then transitioning into a cell, or the cell has been simply drawn over it, right? It's also very smart. Kind of replaced the book there. Over here it's also over here he actually used the camera and a BG pen, I believe. As you can see, uh, the camera is moving upwards while these red strings kind of stay at the same position. So that it feels like they're slightly moving down a little bit when they're not moving, right? Like yeah, since the camera is moving steadily upwards, and also the BG seems to be steadily moving downwards, you have like a very nice, interesting parallax uh, movement to it as well. So like very smartly utilized BG and camera pan in this one. And this one is even a book, so that means this one is even moving differently than the actual BG in the back. So if you look closely, you will see there's like a difference in speed. I'm going to go through this one more time so you can see. I hope you can see it. So yeah, so there's like so many different techniques he's been using. Um, and yeah, now I want to get more into those production materials and go from there, right? Yeah, so the books also, that's a good question, Floaches. The books also need to be, imagine they are like, they also need to be separated pretty much. And they are like all treated like, let's say a cell or like a still cell in a way. But they are called books because they are like completely painted and they are static, right? I sound different because first of all, I used to have a cold. I'm basically on, um, I, I'm, getting healthy again, and I got a new microphone. So it's basically both. So yeah, let's see. Let's go through some production materials, shall we? So like actually educational content where we can see it even better utilized. So first of all, we got this cool shot from Shingo Fuji. He's actually using a lot of BG pans and stuff. So in front, everything is just cells, right? So the cells itself, they don't move too much. Oh, wait a second. He even has a slide camera motion in here. That's cool. He even has like the camera motion over here is like a slight rotation to the right, so downwards pretty much. To While he also uses like a super long camera pan. So basically the camera, like the not camera BG pan. So basically the BG is kind of going from, let's say, if you look at my mouse, it's pretty much from here to here. So it's like all this space over here could be the BG, right? And then it's moving just from, it's like scrolling from left to right. And that's why he gets that cool feeling for the rotation in the BG is also moving quite quickly, right? Super cool. Then he also uses, more cells to show off extra depth, and probably also put some notation down that they need to be blurry, right? Because they're so close to the camera, and that gives some extra sense of depth. Very smart, super good techniques. Over here we also have like a cool BG pen. As you can see, this corner right here, this is probably the start of the BG pen, and it's like moving more right downwards. Over here you can also slightly see the B, right? Like the second position, how it's like moving from from right to left. You can still see some of the notations. Very cool. Thank you, Mr. Yutaka Nakamura. Um, Same over here. But over here he used more likely camera pens, and he has like all these kind of things that you see, these borders, right? I think must be the those must be the actual, positions for the camera pen. Yeah, it's a camera pen for sure. Cells stay the same, but they're resizing because of the camera. Over here again, he uses a BG pen in the search shot. Like the BG is slowly moving up, while the characters like moving on crisp twos. And on the last one, he uses a camera pen again. So he's like switching back and forth in to actually draw that. It's a time partly a little bit rough to understand, but I guess that's the problem with some of the scans. Digital is a little bit clearer to understand at times. He also used like this uh, this person over here. He used like also like some kind of camera pen, but over here you drew like the cells, I believe, onto, or like the cells are like moving with the camera pen. I don't know where the background itself is, or if you even drew it, right? Getting a little bit more confusing over here with looking onto the cells. Yeah, over here, like some of the characters are just part of the background, I believe. There's a camera pen over here. Okay, then we go back to this one. Over here, this is also like in the background, these monsters and stuff, they're just moving with the BG. So they are kind of part of the BG pen in this case. Then he's going to camera pen and using multiple BG pens. So has a book pen over here, which is like in the front, and then the BG pen in the back, pretty much. Or like he has a book pen and a BG pen. So if you look at this long line over here, this one is actually moving differently from the robots or whatever they are, or these skeleton and golems. Uh, yeah, then from this one single line in the background. So there's like BG book and two book pens pretty much to give the sense of rotation to the shot. And I think there's even a little camera pen going on as well. So just moving very slightly down. Very cool. So many techniques used. Holy shit. Okay. And we go to the next one. I really like Chingafuji because Chingafuji has like very good notations, and they're very clear to see as well. For example, he used a very strong gradation pan over here. And yeah, this gradation pan is, I think, solely for the camera on this point. And yeah, on this shot, he just has a super long BG pen. Check this out, man. How long this shit is. You can clearly see like how it's like moving accordingly to these points and these markers. The numbers over here tell where the BG pan has to overlap with the original template template frame pretty much. So I don't know. We are probably when we look at this. I think over here might be frame 77 because it's like right in the middle right now. So and you can clearly see it. This is it. It's frame 8. This is frame 89 because it's clear in the middle. And then yeah, it's like a super long BG pen. And over here, I used a camera pen again. And like he used 3 gradation pens, but he used it 2 times for the camera, like in shot uh, 1 and 4. And in shot 3, he used that super long BG pen and probably even, maybe even a little bit of camera. It's very cool. Like super good work. Um, in case you guys want to look through the stuff yourself, I'm gonna link them in the chat real quick, so you can take a look. This is more likely a lesson than me animating anything. I just want to explain to you guys some camera methods and BG cam methods that you maybe want to think about in the future, because those are like uh super essential if you want to work in the industry later on at some point. And that's honestly, man, like you really need to understand how these kind of things work. It will make your work so much more efficient, easier, and also interesting. Wait, is my mic volume set low? Is it a little bit better now? Oh shit. I didn't realize that. I'm gonna put it up a little bit higher. Hope it's okay now. All right, so that's about it. That's like the mostly the theoretical part. I think those are the most important camera pans and BG pans that you would probably have to know about, and they will probably break your brain a little bit in the first parts. But please, you know, check those out. Over here, this is like a big gradation pan for the BG as well, and then they just, try to reposition the character in the in-betweening phase later on to, match it to the BG. Um, and I think they did pretty well on that shot, as far as I know. Yeah, in-betweeners did a good job. Yeah. So yeah, you can see how these techniques are utilized and how some of that kind of works out then. Mm. So, I wanted to actually even go into the work of Mob Psycho, but I don't know. Yeah, let's just finish it up with some Mob Psycho, and then I'm gonna animate a little bit until uh, probably like 2 hours, maybe, or 1 or 2 hours, based on how well I do. I don't even know if I get anything done correctly or anything fine. I'm glad so many people liked the tact opening episode 3. I'm very happy that there's so much positive feedback around it, and that's cool to hear. Took a long time to get that one done. Honestly, the BG animations were a pain in the ass. Trust me. You don't want to draw that. Whoops. Um. Okay, so over here we have a lot of cells animated at once and very complicated BG animation that we can not BG animation, BG pans pretty much, or like a massive gradation pan. It's kind of hard to figure out because the cells are like moving right in front of it. So over here the gradation pan, I think it's like zooming towards us, right? And it's starting to rotate and to shift and everything. Whoa. And over here it starts to rotate super much. There's probably so many notations for the BG pan here. Because as you can see, some of these the BG itself is moving while the character is moving on twos. Like the BG is moving on ones, and the character is moving on twos. And then some parts. There's a lot of ones in here though. Same goes over here, man. Like it's moving so quickly, and as well goes for the BG. And said you can barely even see the BG, but it's utilized so efficiently that it works out super well. Over here, you can also see how the BG is getting smaller. So it's probably the BG trackback, then going also into Gradation Pan. Holy shit, man. Painting that stuff, even if it's so rough, I wouldn't want to do that. Oh, this is cool. Over here, he actually used the BG itself and, started to rotate it, then had a cell at some point, and then, transition from BG cell to an actual cell. It started to animate that BG animation. That's like fucking nuts, man. I don't even know how he like even came up with that idea. I guess that's Nakamura for you. Yeah, more BG. I think this whole thing is like a cell, like this hallway. The BG itself is like maybe just these glasses in the back right there, but you barely see that. It's mostly all cell. Then you place around with the colors of the cell. So you probably has like a lot of notations of how like the colors and how dark the shading has to be, right? And he has multiple layers for this red thing, the light, the two characters, etc. I wonder. It looks like that he actually redrew the cells of the BG over here. Like, god damn it, just to get that melting effect for these couple frames. That's mad. Hey, this is smeary stuff. Man, impact frames everywhere, dude. Even on the parts where you can barely see them. I don't know if you guys ever noticed them before. With those are actually impact frames, man. Just using very strong light sources here. Jesus. How does he even come up with this shit? I also wonder how he like noted that one down, that he just, have the freaking universe in the background. There must be so much thought behind all of that. But yeah, take your time, go through some clips on Buru or some anime clips that you really like. Check out these camera pans and techniques, please. And yeah, then you will probably see the animations maybe with different aids. Try to understand what a book is, please. And you might even start to approach your own work much differently, right? Once you want to actually use that knowledge for your own advantage. Oh, yeah, layout drawings are very needed. That's why it's also important to actually draw your background layouts and stuff. In case you guys, I don't know, want to look up this fast drawings that I've been doing to explain things, I can, put them in later into the description of the stream, and you can, just look it up again what I've been talking about. But I fairly recommend if you get any better file or something that explains it more correctly, to use that one. This is just fast to give like an overall understanding what kind of pans and rotations and zoom ins and zoom outs kind of exist. Hey man, if you want to be rude and tell me to animate because you think this is boring, then fuck off and leave my freaking live stream. Honestly, if you're being a piece of shit, then you don't deserve me to see me animating at all, dude. Just like I don't know, man. If you have no respect, dude, then you shouldn't be here. Just saying, and I'm plain honest about this. I can't stand this stuff. If I read one more shit like that, then I'm out here. just just saying, man. Like, what do you think of learning if you don't even care for learning, right? If you don't even understand like these simple things and methods and you don't even care about this kind of stuff, then you probably will not get far in animation at all anyways, because you don't even think about this kind of stuff. You're probably the most boring person on this planet now because you're always used the same methods over and over. Just saying. So yeah. So what do I animate, man? That's the question. I have nothing. I don't like the first frame. What kind of pen do I want to use? Mm, the thing is, most of the time, I just decide to use like certain pens or certain techniques. And I already started to do the key animation. So yeah. Also, please, man, it's enough if I insult someone. If I insult someone, don't jump on the train and go on a witch hunt just because I dislike a certain comment or something. Okay, that's not fair at all, dude. Like, please, also, I don't want to see that. here as well. Like it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to say, "Hey, man, this is not cool," right? But not everyone has to, spill the sauce when the sauce is already spilled. Okay. Okay. So please calm the fuck down. Let this guy live. I think he already feels bad enough when I start calling him out. Not everyone has to do it. Okay. What do we animate, guys? What do we animate? I'm always animating punches, but I'm gonna try to animate some kind of fight choreo with rotation and see if this works out or not. I'm just gonna draw a bunch of frames and see where we end up. We gotta delete this camera pen. Don't need that one anymore. I think I'm gonna have the characters. I don't know. Do I have the characters animate on the same cell? Okay, I think I got a cool idea on how to start. Please also note I'm not streaming for only one person because one person will request something. I stream when I have time, when I feel like streaming. I don't have any. I don't have any. How do I say? I don't feel like I'm forced to be streaming. The Patreon goal of me streaming monthly is not even reached yet. So, in case that one would be reached, I would probably be streaming monthly too. Because then you give me enough that I really feel like I have to give something back here. Okay, so we have character number 1. Definitely reaching out for a punch right here. I'm gonna try to have some decent drawings in here. I don't know. Maybe we'll give him hair in frame 1 and then see if we're gonna more hair later on in another frame. I don't accept commissions. I will always answer this question the same way. I have been animating for since 2007. I started with stick figures and like uh animating seriously probably for like the past 5 years is when I really try to get better and better and do my thing and I, yeah, and I used to animate stick figures myself. I don't know if it necessarily stick figures will be essential to become like a great Sakugan master, whatever you want to call it. Um, but it can be definitely beneficial to have like good knowledge about um, motion in itself, right? Mm, some people really benefit from it, right? And some will always, be stuck with stick figures and never get out of it. I think the biggest problem with stick figure community is just that many stick figure animators have a false sense of ego and they think they are like the shit even though all they animate is just some random stick figures that are probably mostly inspired by, anime or something that kind of already exists. And there's like not that much uh, creative freedom or mastermind behind many of those stick figure animations. Like, obviously, there's also some very original and good stuff, right? Let's take Rash, for example, or animators like Miko that used to do like a lot of very cool and original stick figure stuff with effects and all that shit. And Hyun also does some cool stuff, or Turquoise, right, with his chalk. There's some good stuff that actually can come out, but there's like a limit to it on how far you can push stick figures, right? Um, and this is basically, I feel like where most people are like getting caught up. I think there's a lot of potential animators out there that don't even know how far they could probably get if they would, start to change their mindset a little bit and be more conscious and self-aware. But yeah, it's up to you how far you want to take it. Stick figures itself is still not a bad thing, If you're like a hobby animator, stick figures is like perfectly fine for you to do. Like anything is fine for you to do. I mean, most professional animators started by being hobby animators after all, and then eventually they just grew into this kind of professional direction. To be fair, it's not just stick figure animators that are ego tripping. Gotta say, like a lot of, let's say, full body or anime animators. There's like a lot of them out there that are ego tripping as well, and start to think of them as like a higher being or some shit like that. Um, that makes them different from others, which is for me, fairly hard to understand why they would think like that. I I mean, we're all just humans, man. It's like no difference to any person. Only thing that's different is just that the time has been invested differently. Some people like really spend a lot of time learning art, and others like didn't because they spend time learning some other very useful stuff like I don't know, becoming an engineer or like an electrician or something like that, or maybe a nurse. Every freaking job is super important in this planet, anyways. And if we didn't have all these kind of jobs, our entertainment industry would probably not exist. I mean, honestly, animators are probably the most useless people on this planet. Like, uh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm talking bullshit right now. Because I always feel like what I do doesn't have that much value because all I do is like entertain people. And, that's like what am I actually contributing to society that way, right? Like, how am I actually helping anyone with the stuff that I'm animating? Like, does someone say and like, yo, oh my god, this flashy ass frames that just passed by, oh my god, they're gonna change my life. I think I think I know what to do now. Something like that. Is that how the reaction would be? Man, that's so weird. If that would actually happen, right? But for real, dude, I don't know, man. Like, entertainment industry is probably the most useless thing in this day and age. But since it's like so loved by everyone and everyone wants to be entertained all the time because everyone is like craving for that dopamine trap in a way, or like that just that has that freaking urge of consuming something, whether it's being video games or like just watching some random show. Honestly, I feel like like not everyone, but most people these days are so far away from reality because of all that input they get online all the time. Everyone is connected all the time. We are like completely, I don't know, dependent on all that shit. Sure, surely it does make a lot of things easier. That's can't deny that. I know it's just thoughts, man. It's just thoughts. Please don't take these things too serious. Don't become depressed about it or something. It's just me thinking. maybe we animators have a higher value than I thought, right? Mhm. Maybe I'm the guy in the wrong. Who knows? Probably the case, I guess. Well, yeah, I read the chat sometimes. I always scroll up through this. I definitely agree on the Western culture being so built around entertainment. I feel like that's why so many, I'm sorry for saying this, so many people are so spoiled, or like so also so influenced by American culture. Eh, And yes, I'm always working remotely from home. That means everything I've been working on so far is basically just me doing freelancer work. Mm, uh, I got no mods here. Damn son. Someone help me out to sort out some people that might not seem to behave. Wait, Bobbin! Help me, Bobbin! And Dancel, man. You're a mod too now. Take the power. You have the power! Power of Grayskull! Uh, Jaden Matthews. Yes, I have worked with Waylene on the Fake Grand Order Camelot movie and on uh, Hitori no Shita, the Outcast, but I don't like directly talk to him or something. I just worked with him on the same project. That's pretty much it. Yeah, and the stream is going to be available later. Is there a way to paste an image on an already drawn cell instead of creating a new cell? Yeah, there is. For that, you will have to use that folder system. As you can see in my layers right now, every cell that I draw on is kind of a folder, and inside the folder are like two layers. And if you use that, like if you have that system kind of done, let's say for the first cell in your animation layer, and you create a new cell, it's always going to have like these folders. As you can see, I'm creating new files right now. There's always like new empty folder. And then you can simply copy paste drawings. What's going to happen though is, let's say, for example, I don't know, I want to copy paste my fist right here, right? Uh, I'm going to copy paste it. You will see this air copy layer then. And this is basically what's going to happen. You're going to create a new layer within that folder, which is going to be that copy that you made. What you can do then is you can select both of them with Shift, right? And then press on Merge Selected Layer, and then it's going to be one layer again. Like that's pretty much how you do it in CSP. Unfortunately, it's like a little bit, uh, you know, mm, tedious to do, I guess, but it does the job, and you get used to it after a while, I think. I gotta say, we really live way too well that we can actually enjoy all this entertainment and stuff all the time without having to worry about anything. You know, we're really in a way too good position that we can spend our time to, listen to some bullshit I'm talking about on daily basis, man. You can listen to streamers and other people and gamers and all that stuff whenever you want. Back like lately, I actually started to work out again, and I met an old friend from back then, from years ago. Used to be in my class in school, right? Um, and yeah, he's actually working uh, the German army, right? And he's just been, I don't know, man. He feels changed. Like he talked about everything so calmly, but it's so crazy what is happening when he's like when he's abroad and then he has to, be at some of these military bases and how he's talking about that there are like bombs going off every day and like multiple kids die and shit. Like we are so lucky, honestly, man. You can just sit around all day at home, draw, watch some cartoons, and do like actual stuff that doesn't have that much value in terms of, saving anyone's life. We're so spoiled that we can, spend all the time for our egoistical desires, man. Sorry, yeah, I had to say that. I really had to. It's fucking wild, man. Imagine, dude, all your emotions would probably be gone if you work at the military and you had to, endure this shit on a daily basis. And how, how do you like mentally, kind of deal with that shit? You probably can't, right? At some point, your body is either your body or like your brain is gonna tell you, "Hey, man, you can't take that shit anymore. That's too crazy, dude. Like, how can you be so ignorant about it?" Maybe it's just adult stuff that I'm thinking about. Hey, Really should stop the deep talk on stream, right? Maybe. Hey, maybe that's not so good or something. Stupid foreshortening. Doesn't want to work like I want it to work. My pen pressure died again. It always happens. I always need to restart vacuum driver. Or like just open the vacuum driver itself. Wait, what the fuck? Okay. Then it fixes itself. It's so weird. And I always get these very shaky and wobbly lines, as you can see right here. They're not as crisp as like the normal lines, as you can see. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm animating. Maybe it's gonna turn out to be good at some point. I probably have changed the timing and stuff and things. Die Katzencam. Yeah, I don't know about a cat cam or something. Uh, Oh, really? Opening the pen settings, and it will do that less. I'm gonna try it next time. Thank you. I also listen to no music, by the way. It's completely quiet. I listen to the voice of the street, or how the cars like passing by my room. Honestly, I'm definitely gonna ban this one guy. He's just here to, intellectual weep, and not so intellectual anymore after he gets banned. Abusing my powers. Oh, Indigo, I'm gonna give you powers too, man. Let's go. Power tripping. Oh, Matthias can be moderator too. Hello, Matthias. Samiki. Okay. The intellectual are now banned. Yeah, first of all, like, you know, having two different animators with completely different approaches onto animation comparing to each other is like the most stupid and most retarded thing ever, dude. Second of all, animation never has been a competition or something like that. I've never seen anywhere that someone made a rank for animators and say like, hey, so this animator is on this level and we will judge his skill based on these points. Nobody ever done that. Like, well, Dancel, I thought you would be kidding too, but he already made this one comment that it would be boring to, to just listen to me explaining things about camera and BG pens. So I feel like this guy is just a fucking idiot. So I'm banning him because I can. Oh yes, that's the sweet taste of power, man. Oh yes. Anyways, so yeah, that kind of happened. I don't even know. Like it's all this comparing and wow, this is so much better than this, and Mappa is gold, and every other studio can suck my balls. I don't know where this attitude comes from, man. Like, why? Can anyone tell me why? Why would people think like that? Or like, why is it so important to have like this fucking ego stroking competition within this community? It's like another thing that I find really ridiculous is like, oh yeah, but Goku can he beat Goku? And I'm like, okay, man. Like, first of all, Goku is like living in his own complete universe, and he's probably not there to compete with other anime characters because he's mostly just competing in his own world where he belongs. There's like no point, of that. Why are people getting so entertained by these, ego, you know, uh, cock comparisons? I don't know, man. I don't get it, dude. I really don't get it. They value someone just because you like has different taste or different belief or something. Really don't get it, man. It's like this stuff. You can say, hey, okay, I prefer this over that. I get that. I mean, you can have your personal preference. I don't mind. But who gives you the right to shit on something, right? Like, who tells you, who taught you that it's right to, say, hey, man, but this is better? Who tells you, like, who taught you that, man? Where did you learn that? Is it school? Is it your parents? Who do you want to blame? Probably not yourself, right? Obviously. Honestly, I feel like this is like one of the issues, like when you grow up in the internet. You soak up so much bullshit. God damn. That's probably a big, like, well, one of the things that showcases it the best. The anatomy is all off in this one. I don't fucking know, man. It's so bad. This animation. Oh, I haven't been animating for myself in fucking months. Holy shit. I can really feel it now. But yeah, gotta say, man, Barbie is definitely better than Lego. Deal with it. Barbie's better. Can't. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? I said it. God damn it, man. Fucking society, dude. All know that Lego is better, man. Lego is the best. We all know that. Until you step on a Lego, bro. The pain you will never forget. You saw it being poisoned or something by some kind of ninja. It could be painful. Or lose your A side is painful. Then you never stepped on a Lego, bro. Holy crap. This is where real pain happens. Because then Satan himself is gonna straight up tell you, yeah, dude, experience pain. That's just how it is. That's what I learned from society. Yeah, this animation is fucking shit. Um, I don't want to work on this anymore. I want to delete all of that just now. Fucking crap. I suck at animation. I didn't work out as I wanted it to be. Should have practiced this. It hits a little bit too fast. I think the poses are just so bad. I've been focusing too much on the details. I need to get back into. I've been drawing too many details too much lately on the Genghis, and that's why everything is too detailed. I think the first frame itself is like definitely usable, but like this frame, for example, I hate it so much. I'm gonna redraw it. It's so bad. I'm gonna try to simplify more instead this time. Gonna try to focus on motion instead of. The A guides could be alright. Gonna try to keep the A guides at least. Get big Not sure if I get anything done, to be honest. I definitely need to animate more for myself again to, break some of that. I don't know what we want to call it. I don't know. Do we call it rust? It's probably more likely getting back into the habit without animating accordingly to boards, because I'm too used to boards that always showcase me a direction. And back then, I was more animating for myself, which gave more creative freedom in actual, how do I say, mm, a more dynamic in interesting approach to how I would animate, I think. Because when you have boards, you're mostly focused on getting the boards done correctly, and you're not too focused on the actual motion itself. So what helps me sometimes is to even, just draw 1 or 2 frames, or like draw a few frames accordingly to the boards, time it out a little bit, and then, actually get rid of the boards and then try to get that feeling done somehow by just utilizing this the few keyframes I've been buying. Oh, don't need. I want the head to have slight motion towards the audience here. I turn. I'm gonna try to have the leg motion in here as well this time. For the reason so I can coordinate the body a little bit better and I know what's going on the bottom part because otherwise it's gonna feel so unnatural. And it would just wouldn't. I would just have troubles to get it done right then. don't even know what I want to animate, man. This sucks. The motion is too forced. Poses are too forced. There's not enough thought put into it. Oh, it's not the right brush. Oh no. Ah. So something is simple. Go for the kick, and we're gonna try to get rotating motion in. Best drawings ever. I can't fucking animate for shit, man. I don't know why you guys even watch my fucking stream. frame is fucking trash. Holy shit. Try to get a rotation in here somehow. That's much better. Okay, this feels like the kicks actually delivered this time. Hey, nice. Finally did something decent. Let's walk. God damn it. Why did it take so long? Hey, I'm an impatient person. Animation is always taking so long. What is this shit? That's not how it's supposed to be. Fingers. Big egghead. Ace. So the question is, should we like make him regain his balance, or or was the kick so strong that he's just falling over? Or maybe the kick was so strong in the guts and he's like actually feeling pain right now at his stomach. He's holding his belly. Ugh. Ugh. Animate on twos, ones, threes, fours, fives, anything that's needed in a certain situation. I'm glad there are people like Susei who's explaining the book one more time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. For work, I'm using storyboards that are provided from the production manager. But sometimes they allow me to change the boards. And yeah, for my personal stuff, uh, for my personal stuff, man, like uh, sometimes I try to board out things. Mostly, I always animate things on the go and then just see where it takes me. Also, I'm mostly listening to music as well when I animate something most of the time. And I think music is also super good to have, like, because you're probably inspired by that kind of music, and music creates emotion, right? So you might be even to uh, be able to, realize or visualize the things much more in 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 depth, right? Than than if you would like do it without music. Sometimes it's good to have some quiet times, but gotta say, man, certainly time is certainly passing way, way, way slower than when you have music on, man. I do admit it's not for everyone. And I also don't always do that. I just do that when I stream actually. Like when I stream, I don't mind not having any music because I still have that other input from you guys. So I'm always reading through this chat once in a while. Whenever I feel like it's getting too boring. Right? Started to simplify a lot here. So I'm gonna still have the character. Slowly moving the head upwards. And then getting into fighting stance something. The leg motion really puts me off because like just wiggling around. It might not be in the canvas, right? But it will still feel like it's still, and it also should be clear. I want to keep the same shape. Mm-hmm. The spacing over here is too uneven. The idea for the motion probably doesn't work too bad. Now look at it. God damn. It's still fucking bad. Oh my god, I'm in a crisis. No, I'm joking. It's fine. I'm gonna figure something out. It's probably mostly just the arcs. Mm-hmm. just gonna read the lines. Could be very confusing. I think the recall breaks off too early or something. And then I use too big spacing. Uh, Then we come back to the fundamental issues pretty much. The problem is I really don't know what I want to do, man. Like, I think that's really the biggest problem right here. I had like a clue of what I wanted to animate at least. I'm still even thinking about what kind of camera or like BG pans and stuff I want to add later on to this. Because, yeah, as I said, like I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of relaxing by just drawing random lines and not trying to think about it too much. It feels good to animate. Like I don't feel stressed out or anything. It's just questionable of if this turns out turns out well or not. In the end, it still had a good purpose because I don't, as I said, like I don't feel bad about this. I don't feel like mentally stressed out or something. It's very mentally relieving actually. Yeah. Sometimes these kind of doodles are also very important to have. I think. I think instead of making such large spacing, I'm gonna try to stick with smaller spacing. Making him like slowly getting up and be like, okay, man, you wanna fight? Let's fight. Maybe I can't animate fighting animations anymore because I really don't feel like fighting right now in my head. I have nothing to fight anymore. That's why I became weak at animating fights. Say partly animating fights. It's also a little bit boring. I know everyone likes fights, and fights are fun to animate. I think I really need to learn the other shit as well. Much more. I'm just another boom kaboom super fast animator, back frames, Nakamura wannabe. Aber shoulder is moving down very fast towards the end. Maybe we don't want to do that. Very disproportionate character. I'm gonna like let him make a spin, and then I'm gonna make him do a spin kick towards the other character, and then pretty much ending the animation, I think. Then I will try to animate for myself in the future more, so the stream's gonna increase in quality again, and I don't look like a guy who needs to relearn animation all the time. Should be still dragging in this frame. Yeah, boosty big hands ever. Yeah, that's it. That's animation. Okay, fucking trash. Okay. That's fine. I think on the last frames you can probably reduce the have even some ones and shit, and probably can get away with that. Probably could have some threes over here. Threes here. And it feels already a little bit better. The fucking magic of timing. But yeah, it's animation. I did deal with it. It's bad. Yeah, I actually had in mind to animate a short thing on my own. Um, it's gonna take a while until I can actually tackle it. I'm like completely booked out until next year in terms of work, which is definitely a good thing. Sorry for the weird flex, by the way. I'm sorry. I've been I've been getting some very, 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 very good offers, and I can really feel how like these past 2 years slowly starting to pay off more and more. Mm, and yeah, I can add the Nakamura brush to the Dropbox too. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna add this file that I just animated right here to the Dropbox as well. As well, like the screenshot for the camera pens. Okay? Hopefully I don't forget. I'm gonna do that in a bit. I'm just gonna add the camera pen now. And you will understand how it like feels even more interesting. So for camera we don't want anything too specific, right? Anything not anything too, let's say, too complicated. I'm just gonna take my brush right here. I'm already reducing the opacity to like very low, right? So the lines are not even clear. Uh, the BG is just gonna be like, I don't know, some scratchy lines right there. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, what we're gonna do now is gonna have the BG move. Starting position would be probably around here. It's gonna be around. Not gonna move that much until this position, I believe. direction. Over here, I want to go have it like a little bit much faster. This point where it eases out. A bit more. Still more. One second, I'm getting called. I'm sorry. Got a call. So now the camera is moving into the other direction again. Camera this direction. And yeah, probably camera could still be moved much more towards the end. And now what else we can do is, in case the camera doesn't most of the time the camera will not exactly move like you want it to. So you can go to the graph editor in Clip Studio Paint. And as you can see, there's like this X axis, right? And you have this little bump right here. That means it's easing out. But you can change that by, straighten it up. Because I want it to, move more faster. With spacebar, you can move on accordingly to this. And then you can like try to fix up some of the arcs over here. That way it will feel a little better. Yeah. Oops. I want to move the whole thing. Kind of like that. The BG animation or like the pan itself should feel a little bit better too. I don't know if you notice a difference, but yeah, there's one. Okay, so we got the camera done now, the BG pen done now, and yeah, so the last thing to do is would be probably blocking out of where the BG has to be at what kind of frame. I don't know. So what I'm gonna do is very roughly now. It's probably not the best or perfect method. Might be even a little bit confusing. I should have probably take my time and show the correct way. But I don't have too much time anymore because I gotta go in a bit. Gonna do that. This would be position one. I'm gonna try to get like the same position as be within box pretty much. And number two would be probably here. It's not 100% perfect, but four would be around here. I'm gonna try to keep the same distance from. It's just a very small. Back to a previous position. I would assume. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna go through all these. I'm gonna call this one number two. Three. And number four. I'm not sure if it's this one. I guess it's probably that one. That's probably E. It's probably F. Oh, it's not F. So F would be probably the same as C. The last position over here is G. Pretty much. So it would go from here to here, here to this position, and backwards again, etc. Pretty much. So a pan would be like that. One direction and the other. Yeah, looks confusing, is confusing. Too many, there's too many there's too many positions for it. Yeah, and then now I'm gonna take this one, merge all the layers, copy paste it. Onto this one, activate this. I don't know, no, it should be actually correct or something. Kind of like that, I don't know. I could have just made a camera probably and put the BG layer into it, and then it would be much more accurate. I'm gonna show you the other way then, just in case, so I can also say that I showed it correctly. Uh, yeah, that was too confusing. I'm sorry. That one. Make new camera layer. This one into camera layer. I can CPG layer. So what we're gonna do now is I made this camera layer, right? As you can see, we have all these background positions, right? What my camera is gonna do, copying the timing of the other layer. I'm gonna place my, like if I move my camera right now, you can see how like all the other layers are moving as well, right? So this is position A, right? Position A look should be like right in the middle over here. You can see how like I can perfectly align it. Position B, I like how they gonna clarify a little bit more by in this layer and bringing out the opacity on this layer. Opacity back. Just so you can see it more closely. Look carefully how this BG layer is like perfectly aligning. Like these red boxes are like perfectly aligning with the middle box that we want to refer to. Okay. That's pretty much how you do it correctly. How it should be. Now we got that one done. We also want to back that one layer with. I press some play now. You can see what's happening. I think it's off though. Did I do something wrong? Like I've been doing something wrong. I suck. Oh. Anyways, what's important is that these red boxes, like these positions that you have, align with the middle part of your animation, and that's pretty much about it. It's like the rest doesn't really matter too much. Want to get the awkward position for sure, though. Why am I so bad, dude? I mess up so often, even in anime pipeline. Seem to understand things, but then on the other hand, I also don't understand anything. Like it's all temporarily. I feel like. Let's see. Is this line correct? Ah, this looks much better. Yeah, this is basically how you should have it. It's aligning more correctly now. Oh, okay, we fixed it. I think I just made the wrong camera annotations. The background is not moving. It should be moving in the other direction. That's okay. Still works somehow, weirdly enough. I wonder if you can, horizontally change it. If I would flip the drawing of the BG, I could realign it. So if I do this, and then I do shit. Why is my brain like this? So confused. This is the best stream ever. You guys learn absolutely nothing. Great. Let's go. Once again, man. Once again. I managed to confuse myself more than the audience. I just I guess you guys can tell that I just woke up, hopefully. Oh my god. I'm such a shame for this industry. I don't even understand why people hire me. Fucking shit. Okay, now I got it right, though. I got it right. This should be it. Yes, this feels much better. Yay. How did I mess it up? How did I mess it up? What is my brain doing with me? Ah, anyways. That's pretty much how it's supposed to be. Fuck. Art advice is difficult. Exactly. The red boxes are like the keyframes for the camera or for like the background, whatever you want to keyframe. In this case, I keyframed the background. Yep. Okay, thank you very much for watching, everyone. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna try to include the file and the other file. And then I'm gonna try to do something more cooler next time. I'm gonna try to get into that speedrunning mode again and animate lots of stuff and animate faster and more accurately. And next time we're gonna try to animate or clean up some stuff. And yeah, it's gonna take a while until that stream's gonna happen probably. So don't count on it, but I think the next stream's probably might be just coming up next year. Or like at the end of the year around December or something. It really depends on how my time is how like I go through work and how everything works out and how much I'm procrastinating pretty much or like mentally struggling with finishing everything in time. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff still coming up, or like in the making, pretty much. So please look forward to it. There's still some animation that you guys might like for some cool shows that you guys probably know. Not gonna say too much here. But yeah, hopefully you guys look forward to it and you're gonna enjoy it. And yeah, we'll let you know once it actually is happening, right? And the next stream is also gonna be announced on Twitter. The next stream is probably gonna be announced way earlier than this one. It's not gonna be spontaneous. Um, yeah, that's about it. That's like the ending words. Hopefully, you could take at least a little bit of valuable information and could learn at least a little bit. And hopefully, not everything was too confusing. I'm sorry for being so confusing at times. It's just that sometimes I don't know why, like my brain just turns off. It just turns off for a minute, and then I have to recollect all my thoughts. And then I just realize how much of a freaking clusterfuck I created. I don't know. I just have this. I think. I think we can call it the black hole in my brain, and maybe that's probably also the reason because I'm so weird at times. I guess that's it. Anyways, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for all your kind words and for liking my animation for Tucked. It's a pleasure. And yeah, have a great day and a great week. Yes, the stream is saved and the brush is going to be uploaded later in the description. Okay? Thank you. See you. Okay. End stream.